Yo everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be reading this 4.9 update notes that is coming out very soon, like early next week. These notes are still very new, they dropped yesterday, and it comes with a lot of details regarding the prestige abilities that have been teased for 2 weeks or so in the social media pages. So prestige abilities are one of the biggest gameplay changes in the game. As it says, they add a whole new layer of gameplay and character progression to our SGM experiences. So if you've already understand what prestige abilities are about and how they function, feel free to skip this part. You can go to the timestamp in the description, but if not, we're just gonna go through this for those of you who are still unsure of what they actually do. So prestige abilities are powerful new abilities you can unlock on your fighters. These prestige abilities can be triggered during combat, granting your fighter new skills and bonuses that will remain for the rest of the fight. And this is important, so basically what it means is that once you activate it, this ability will last for the whole duration of the fight, meaning it's permanent. And every character has a unique prestige ability that exemplifies their innate traits and playstyle. Prestige abilities can also be leveled up, making them more and more powerful. Unlocking a prestige ability requires sacrificing a duplicate fighter, but the payoff is well worth the effort. Unlocking a prestige ability and leveling it up will increase your fighter score, however it does not directly increase any of your stats. Similar to unlocking a marquee ability, just like an MA, you will also get a fancy new border. Remember when this was revealed in the social media post with 3 mod leaders and people were freaking out? I thought that was like hilarious. And now you see Annie's prestige ability and you just know that this will never happen and it's not gonna affect the game that much. But it is still funny. It caused quite an uproar. People were very scared about prestige abilities for good reason, because a lot of similar features in other games have been a pay-to-win mechanic. And I'm just gonna say outright right now that prestige abilities, while on paper it looks like it could be a pay-to-win mechanic, it really isn't. The developers have done a very good job to balance that fine line on a great mechanic that takes use of duplicate fighters without being too overbearing and too broken that it warrants a pay-to-win gameplay. So thankfully it's not, but we'll get to that in a bit. So this border looks very nice. That's also important gameplay function during combat. Right, you can click it later on in the game. How do I unlock prestige abilities? To unlock a prestige ability, you will need to sacrifice a duplicate of that variant, effectively merging them into one more powerful fighter. You need to match that variant, but you do not need to match the evolution tier. When sacrificing a fighter, all viable duplicates will have a big obvious prestige icon on them to easily identify which fighters will unlock or enhance your prestige ability. Here you can see Ophelia with Bad Hair Day. Every other Bad Hair Day in your collection will get a prestige ability badge for quick identification. So you can increase the prestige ability of Bad Hair Day by combining with other Bad Hair Day, regardless of their tiers. We see one here, gold, a silver, and a bronze. You can also tap on the prestige ability icon on the lower right corner to filter your collection and only show fighters that will improve your prestige ability. In this case, it shows all your Bad Hair Day fighters. Oh, that's nice. And after you select fighters for sacrifice, you will be notified about how many levels your prestige ability will increase, just like any other stat change. You can also tap the I button beside the prestige section for more information, showing exactly how the PA will be improved if you sacrifice the selected fighters. And this I button is right here, right there. And if you click it, it shows you the abilities for each character. And this one is Philia's. And you see this, this is a level 1 and this becomes a level 10 where it's now 53.6%. And of course, they can be leveled up to a maximum of level 100. So this is Beowulf's. It increased from 5% to 20% bonus damage. Don't worry, even if you aren't able to level them up very high, just having a PA unlocked is a significant power boost. So this is very important, but prestige abilities are unlocked anytime you sacrifice duplicates, which includes power up, evolution, and even shiny transfer, and that's really neat. You can unlock a PA at any time. The fighter does not need to be max level or have its skill tree or marquee ability unlocked. So this is also a very important thing about prestige abilities. The natural rarity of a fighter will affect its prestige ability level up rate. Natural diamonds will gain the most PA levels per sacrifice, with natural bronze gaining the fewest. Prestige ability level up is based on the natural tier of the fighter. Now, if you don't understand what this means, Basically, if you have a cold stones, you want to increase its prestige ability, and you have a gold, a diamond, and a silver cold stones, if you merge those together, they still only give you 2 PA levels. It doesn't matter whether your cold stones is a silver, it's a gold, or a diamond, it doesn't matter. Because cold stones is naturally a bronze, you will only get 2 PA levels. Here it is, the important reminder. So if we go back to the bad hair day example again, this will all only give 2 prestige abilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Even though you mix a gold, a silver, and a bronze, it still only gives 2. So how do we actually use these prestige abilities? Signature abilities and marquee abilities are typically passive. They are active from the beginning of a fight and provide persistent ongoing effects. Prestige abilities are a little different. Once you have unlocked a PA, you will need to charge up your prestige meter during combat before you can activate it. Each character has a unique charging mechanic tied to that character's playstyle. So this is just an example. Valentine will charge her PA as she recovers HP, Beowulf will charge his PA while he uses hype mode, and Squiggly will charge her PA as she gains or uses dragon charges. So if you need a reminder on how to charge your PA, you can just click the pause screen and that will show you the charging condition via the PA description on the pause screen. You can see your prestige ability charging up by looking at the border of your character icon. The stem and leaves of the border will fill up with vibrant blue as you gain prestige meter. Each set of leaves is 20% of a charge, so you can easily tell how close you are to being able to activate it. Once fully charged, your character icon will start to glow, letting you know your prestige ability is ready to be activated. Wow, this is actually really beautiful. It's really cool. The developers did a really great job with this. Look at that. And increase, it becomes all blue, and you can click it and it activates. Tapping the icon will activate your PA, triggering a huge flash of blue light. You can only activate a PA while standing on the ground, similar to most special moves. Recovery is almost instantaneous, so you can attack or block immediately after triggering a PA without worry of being hit by your opponent. Okay, that's nice. Once activated, some PAs will have a single-use effect, like Valentine, who will revive every member of your team, and Squiggly, who will burn all the bodies on the stage, preventing them from being revived. However, every prestige ability also has a powerful permanent ongoing effect. So not every prestige ability have a single-use effect, but all prestige ability have a permanent effect. This ability will remain for the rest of the fight and cannot be removed. It will even persist even if the fighter tags out or is defeated and later revived. Fighters with active PAs will gain a permanent shadow trail to let you know they're now more powerful than normal. Okay, so this is the list of all the prestige abilities for each character. We're gonna skip this for now and talk about them later at the very end, because there are some other things that I want to go through first. And the first thing is that free skill points when sacrificing fighters. Whenever a fighter levels up, you gain a few skill points depending on what tier the fighter is. Damn, this is a really huge one. Prior to 4.9, if you sacrifice a fighter without leveling it up first, it was seen as a waste of all the potential SP it will have gained through level ups. Now when you sacrifice a fighter, you will instantly gain all the SP it will have gained through leveling up. If you sacrifice a level 1 bronze fighter, you will instantly gain 29 skill points. If you sacrifice a level 1 diamond, you will instantly gain 590 skill points. This is a major game changer, especially for those of you who are still quite new to the game. You have no idea how hard, how grindy the game was 2 years ago. Now there has been so much improvements by the developers in trying to reduce the grind and the time commitment you need to play this game well. From EXP boost, Rift coins, Theonite subscription, giveaways, and a whole lot of other stuff. 2 years ago, this didn't exist. None of that existed. It was one of my biggest complaint for the game. It was very difficult for someone who are new to keep playing the game and be invested in it because there was so much grinding and so much time commitment. And now they just made it so much easier that people can play it without feeling like they need to play it for 4 hours every single day. The only one left that we need to fix is dailies, and I really hope the next update covers that. Converting a diamond will not grant these bonus skill points. Aw, that's kinda sad, but I get it. Okay, sure. Endgame players may not appreciate this as much because we have so much skill points. And of course, lastly, we have the costume party event. Halloween is upon us, and that means the return of the costume party prize fight and a chance to win Necrobreaker Squiggly, which is very rare. You can only get this in this event and like giveaways if you win. This event's trick or treat modifier is wildly unpredictable as each player gets random buffs and debuffs throughout each fight. make sure to bring some sources of immunity if you want to dodge those debuffs. This prize fight will be available as soon as 4.9 goes live and will last until November 13th. This should give you plenty of time to reach whatever milestones you're aiming for and collect all those spooky relics, Theonite, Canopy coins, and other prizes along the way. So this is the contents of the spooky relics, and wow, it's so different than last year. Usually it's 3 diamonds, 3 golds, and 3 silvers, and now they've expanded the loot table for the silvers significantly. So now you have 9 different silvers that you can get, which is, again, this is more towards for the newer beginner players so that they can grow their roster. And I think this is a really nice change. If you've played this game for a year or two, this might not change as much, but the content is still pretty good. Like, oh my god, I need Wetwork and Snakebite. I don't have these 2 yet. Idle Threat and Moonstruck as well. I don't have these 2 yet. I hope I can get them. Ooh, there's a lot of things I want in this relic. Oh, this is just the contents. Please note that while we have added more silvers to the loot table, the chance of earning a diamond, gold, or silver has not changed. This means there's a greater variety of silvers if you do pull one. And as a special Halloween treat, we're bringing back an old favorite, the Nightmare Relic. This is a special reward you can earn for reaching the final extra milestone in the Costume Party prize fight, or by purchasing it in the store for Theonite. It offers a guaranteed diamond. Oh my god. Whoa. There's so much variance in this relic that I don't have. Fire-branded Shadow Puppet, Creature of Habit, Standout, Wetwork, and Fury, and Snakebite. 8. Literally more than half. God, I hope I got lucky. If I get heavy-handed, I swear I'm gonna flip out. And not just any diamonds, we've tried to pack this with some of the most desirable diamonds in Skullgirls Mobile. If you're looking to add a new diamond to your collection or unlock the prestige ability on one of your favorites, this is the relic for you. And it is true, there's some really powerful ones here. Somersault is really good, Neuromancer is really good, Shadow Puppet is really good, Lovecrafted is absolutely amazing. I don't know why Creature of Habit is here. I feel like this is the weakest one. Freeze Frame is alright, Heavy-Handed is okay. Free is alright. Snakebite is pretty good. But yeah, there's some really good ones here. So if you need a diamond and you're willing to support the devs, then feel free to buy some. I think this is pretty worth it. Well, it depends on the price, but it looks really good from content wise. Oh, Rift Bell and Prize Fight reward updates. Holy. When diamond prize fights were added in 4.8, they added a new reliable way to earn materials needed for developing a diamond level collection. To keep pace, we've adjusted the diamond shard rewards for the higher tiers to make them suitably rewarding. Wow, they almost doubled the shards. Wait, that's a lot of shards. You can get a diamond every month now, guaranteed, just by hitting diamond 2. That's crazy. And you can get a diamond every 2 weeks if you get legend. Oh my god. The highest tiers of diamond prize fights all felt a bit similar, so we have also increased some of the prizes to really reward players that go the extra mile. Oh shoot, they give you a guaranteed gold fighter relic? That's huge. Yo, man, I hope people don't get crazy over this. These changes are really nice. It affects mostly the late game players, but you get rewarded for actually investing your time into it, which is really nice. Economy updates, new subscription, Medici Kickback. Get 500,000 Canopy coins instantly, followed by 50,000 more each day. For 30 days, that's 2 million Canopy coins total for the price of only 140,000. 40,000 what? I'm guessing it's the same price as how much you can get buying 140,000 coins with real life money. So they didn't put out a price tag, so we don't actually know how much this is. But this is really worth it though. All the subscriptions for the Theonite and the Medici one is really good. If you want to support the developers, then feel free to buy this one. It's also really cheap. I think it's only like $5 or something. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, keep a lookout for these subscriptions. If you enjoy the game, you want to support developers, then get this. This is like really worth it. Standard relic updates, Wetwork, High Ruler, and Vintage Virtuoso are now available in all regular relics. Keys of all kinds have had their price reduced. Oh, they reduced the keys and the price. Okay, 800,000 instead of 1 million. Interesting. Wow, this is quite significant economy changes. Event reset time. As of 4.9, all daily events, prize fights, Rift Bells, daily missions, calendars will now reset at 10 AM. Hold up. Wait, that's 10 hours ahead. Wait, that's like 6 PM for me now. Oh, that's so weird. Wait, that's broken. Wait, oh shoot, Rift Battles, oh man. We might see some new legends here. Oh, I feel so bad for the people who have been competing. This is gonna shake things up a lot. Rift Battle still has some issues, and this feels like it might cause some people to quit. I hope not, but possibly. Other changes. Fix an issue where in some cases buffs and debuffs that were applied by one modifier will not be removed correctly by another modifier that targeted the same kinds of buffs and debuffs. Maple Crest has gotten a bit of a facelift with animated NPCs and trees? Wait, that's cool. Prize fights. The no bronzes restriction has been removed from gold prize fights. I never understood why there was a no bronze restriction. I thought that was kind of dumb. But this was a nice change. The meltdown modifier on Robo Fortune's Diamond Prize fight will now correctly remove all stacks of Enrage even if the fighter has immunity when it triggers. I don't actually remember what the modifier does, but okay. Nice to know that it now does it correctly. Parasol updated the Star-Crossed palette with some visual flair, courtesy of Annie herself. Oh, that must be really, really sick. If you guys have not seen Annie's second encore shenanigans, it looks really, really nice. This is actually really good. I can't wait to use it and see how it looks. Parasol can no longer cancel her trip attack if the opponent blocks it. Ooh! That's a big nerf. So if you guys didn't know, this was an exploit that a lot of Parasol players have used. You just swipe down and immediately use a blockbuster and it will almost always connect, which is crazy. But now you can no longer do that, which, ooh, that's a huge nerf. High Ruler's signature ability now grants 5 seconds of fatigue instead of 3 seconds of stun. Oh, that's also huge. I'm not sure why they changed it. Maybe stun was too powerful? Yeah, no idea about this one, why this happened. Not a lot of people had High Ruler, so I haven't really seen how impactful this was. But I could imagine like stun being really, really strong. Ooh, that's a lot to unpack there. Procedure abilities were a huge undertaking for the team and we're extremely pleased with how they turned out. We're confident players will enjoy the new layers of strategy and gameplay they add to Skullgirls Mobile, and we're excited to see what you all do with them in the coming weeks. Of course, as with any major update like this, we'll be keeping an eye on feedback from players and we'll make adjustments in future as needs be. Don't be shy in showing us your coolest Prestige variants or any wild new gameplay strategies you uncover. Leave a comment below if you have any questions and let us know what you think of this update. Also keep an eye out on our social media accounts to stay up to date on new developments, giveaways, and contests in the coming weeks. Woo, giveaways! And that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna go through the Prestige abilities because I do have some thoughts on these abilities and what they actually mean. Alright y'all, so these are the list of the Prestige abilities, and I'm not gonna go through every single one of them because frankly, I'm not an expert in this game. I don't play all the characters, and some of them I have no idea whether they're good or not. We're just gonna go on a general sense. Prestige abilities, a lot of people had tons of worry about it because they were afraid this game was going to be a pay-to-win mechanic. And for good reason, because in other games, in similar mechanics that involves the merging of two duplicate characters into one stronger character, has always been almost like a necessity for competitive play. Like if you don't have a duplicate character and you can't merge it, you feel left out because you don't have access to these abilities. Now thankfully, from all the Prestige abilities and my own personal impression, none of the Prestige abilities scream in that way. Like it doesn't feel like you're being left out by a huge margin if you don't have Prestige abilities. And there is still an argument on whether it's better to have a duplicate and invest that fully instead of merging them together. And that was, I could imagine, a very tricky thing to balance because on one hand, you want the Prestige ability to be good enough so that people actually use it, but you don't want it to be broken that people feel left out when they don't have it. So it was a very fine line to balance, and I think the developers have done a pretty good job. Although I have to say, I think some of the abilities are on the weaker side. I think the developers were maybe too cautious for some of them, that they perhaps have balanced it way too much so that it doesn't feel like it's worth it. But we'll get to that in a bit. So the first category I would say are Prestige abilities that is simply a damage boost, and that's mostly Annie which is a damage boost to her star power stars. Beowulf, which is a damage boost all around just after every 20 seconds, which is kind of crazy, honestly. And Cerebella, which is a damage boost to her throws. Now, Cerebella's just a clarification because I did get this wrong when I first read it. Her damage bonus scales depending on the opponent's health. If the opponent still has 100% health, you get 100% bonus damage, but if the opponent has 25% health, then it only deals 25% extra damage. Regardless, it is still it sounds like a pretty good damage boost, to be fair. Like Merry Gorillas, Diamond Drops, that sounds nutty. You can deal tons of damage when the opponent has 100% health, and that is pretty significant. Like, Criminal Mind with this, getting past that 10% threshold might be pretty easy. Double is also a damage boost, Elemental Advantage, which is great because, it's double. And I think that's all for the damage boosting abilities. There's some which is a bit more unique. Eliza, for example, has a chance to remove buff and gain 5% health. It almost makes every single Eliza like a mini standout with slightly different requirements. But the fact that her charge rate is super easy to achieve, this looks really, really powerful. But just because it's a powerful prestige ability, don't quickly scream pay to win, because it is important to remember that pay to win is only concerning for prestige abilities if it forces people to actively search for a particular natural diamond variant. And that's because natural diamond variants are the rarest to get in this game. But if you look at all the prestige abilities, not just Eliza's, there isn't like a natural diamond variant that completely stands out in the spotlight to be meta because of the prestige ability. Like, take Eliza's for example. Just because of this prestige ability doesn't make you want to have multiple standouts or multiple Mummy Dearest, right? If anything, it wants you to have multiple bronze, silver, or gold variants so that they have access to these powerful abilities, and it elevates them to a higher level of play, which is really exciting, and also because those variants are easier to get. Now, I do hope that future variants are in check so that they do not work too well with prestige abilities that warrants this pay-to-win feel. But so far, from all of the things that have been revealed, they have been very good with this. Like Annie's prestige ability doesn't work well with Model Leader. Painwheel's prestige ability doesn't really work well with Neuromancer. And Xbot doesn't really work well with RoboFortune's prestige ability, which I'll get to later. Well, maybe it does a bit, but it's not too overbearing. It's still within the okay range. And of course, in Rift battles, the charge rate does matter a lot because time is very important for Rift battles. And, well, I guess it doesn't apply for Eliza's because the charge rate is easy, but like some others, as you can see later on, the charge rate can be a bit slow and it will take time away and points away from you. Now, there's some odd ones. Philia, for example, is quite odd. She just evades all projectiles while dashing. That feels a bit too situational for me. It highly depends on the opponent you're facing. If you're against Peacocks with a lot of projectiles, then sure. Well, if you're against any other character, there's not a lot of projectiles, right? So this one is a bit iffy for me. Fuqua is interesting. It got a lot of flack in Twitter when it was first revealed. And I think it's important to remember that this is a permanent buff. Every time she uses a blockbuster, it drains the opponent's meter, it's a drain, so you get some of that meter back. And I know that Fuqua has some things in her kit that allows her to drain meter, but these things stack. I think with prestige ability, every Fuqua should have like a unblockable blockbuster, and it's gonna be so easy to charge it. Just bring a twice shy for every Fuqua. She has so much ways to gain meter, it's actually insane. And the heal block for 5 seconds, you can argue that it's very short, but again, you gain meter back so easily that spamming blockbusters is pretty fast and pretty simple to do. Like, sure, in those 5 seconds, you can already have another blockbuster filled up and you can just use it again to inflict another heal block. So I think it's good. Misfortune, I have no idea because I don't play Misfortune. Painwheel, I feel, is one that's more thematically relevant. Painwheel as a character, she's a berserker, she's a monster, she just kills everything on sight. And Guard Break fits that thematic somewhat, but I honestly have no idea how this will function in the game practically. 4% per critical hit, so you just need to land 25 critical hits. That sounds pretty easy, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about the guard break. It might make... I do like the fact that it enforces a very aggressive approach, because once you inflict that guard break, you can just keep on spamming and keep on tapping the screen until your Painwheel lands a hit, and I think that fits very, very well with Painwheel's character and thematic. But how practical it is, I'm not quite sure. And then we have Peacock. Peacock is also very similar. It's mechanically thematic because she's all about projectiles, and the more projectiles you spam, all the buffs she gets. This one is a really good one. It's a very simple one as well. This is quite powerful. Parasol, I do really, really like it. People thought this was really good, and I have to agree. And mostly because it forces you to... Sorry, no, it doesn't force you. It allows you to have a moveset that doesn't use Egret Call while also still being pretty good. It's an alternative way for Parasol to gain position without using Egret Call, which I think is really neat. And honestly, people who still think there's an argument for critical thinking, I don't know if you can hold that argument anymore when precision is so widely available to Parasol. Just by being near a tier, you gain a precision. That's kind of insane. I'm excited to see Parasol players making use of this prestige ability, making use of different movesets and different strategies aside from the ones that people already use nowadays. I think it opens up a lot of alternative doors and gameplay patterns that achieve the same thing, which is really interesting. Because some Parasol variants want tiers in the field and gain effects when near a tier, and this fits absolutely perfectly with that and allows you to run Napalm Shower, Napalm Toss without needing, again, Egret Call. So yeah, this one is a really good one. It's an alternative. It's mostly like a side grade more than an upgrade, but it's still very, very good. Now, Robo Fortune, I wanna say it's quite interesting, and it raises the question on whether the AI can use prestige ability or not, because being able to reflect 100% damage in defense is nuts. And Robo Fortune has tons of ways to inflict debuffs on you. There's Catalyst as well, and yeah, it can go very, very crazy, but whether or not the AI is smart about using prestige ability will, I think, make or break this, but it's still a really, really good ability. And then we have Squiggly and Valentine, which are the abilities that you can activate to gain an extra stuff. Now, Squiggly is the most straightforward because it allows you to have infinite Dragon Charge, which is very powerful. It allows you to do so many nutty combos very, very easily, but it also prevents defeated opponents from getting revived. A lot of people were thinking about using this to counter certain Rift modifiers, and that is true, but I wonder how fast you can reliably use this. Maybe in the light week when the modifier is revival every 60 seconds, I think. That's where this shines a lot. But yeah, timing is definitely an issue and something players will have to watch out for to use this effect. It remains to be seen how consistent we can use this, but this looks really, really solid. Now, Valentine, of course, is revival, and all your Valentines basically becomes a mini Assassin's Creed that continuously regain health per second, which is kind of insane. However, the charge rate is something to consider though, because she gains the charge for every health recovered. That means she already needs to suffer some damage, which gets you thinking, like, how do I consistently activate this prestige ability without needing to kill myself? So this prestige ability feels like a safeguard kind of thing. The reason why you want this prestige ability is the same reason why you have Killjoy in the back. In the off chance that you make a mistake and your Valentine gets murdered or like low health, you can still use this ability and come back on top. That's basically the gist that I get from this ability. So I don't know how you can actively use this, but it's definitely good for a safeguard and safe keep in case you make a mistake. Have I covered all? I think I missed one. Big Ban. Now this is the only prestige ability that gets my head scratching because I have no idea how to use this well. Like, is it actually worth it to make his dash attacks unblockable? And the Grant Enrage for 5 seconds is very, very short. And I think the reason why it looks really weak is because Big Bans in general are meant for defense, and this is clearly an offensive prestige ability. And the only offensive Big Bans are like Vintage Virtuoso, Beatbox, and Epic Sax, right? And I don't understand how useful it is to have your unblockable, your dash attacks be unblockable. It's not clear to me, so if any of you have any ideas, feel free to reach out. But yeah, this one gets my head scratching. A lot of people wish that Big Ban had a defensive prestige ability, But honestly, I'm kind of scared of that because he has so much defense going on, and I know he's not the best in defense right now because, frankly, I think it's because his catalyst got nerfed. Like, if you look at Big Ban's HP and his marquee abilities, he has so much damage reduction that he's actually really good in defense on a stat-based value, but because this game relies so much on buffs and debuffs, in Rift battles, that comes from Catalyst, and Big Ban's Catalyst fuel resistance have got nerfed so hard that it's almost practically useless now. That's where he falls off. I think though, if you want to boost Big Ban's defense, new Catalyst can serve that job very well, and I don't think Prestige ability should do that. But that's just my personal opinion. I do like that they're trying to like have an offensive Prestige ability for a Big Ban, but just having an unblockable dash attack feels very underwhelming. Like, this is the only Prestige ability that I really don't understand how useful it is. And maybe Philia is like a close second, but I get the thematic of it. And that is basically my first impressions on these Prestige abilities. So there's still some questions that we still need to answer. How easy does the AI activate these abilities? And for the diamond variants, it's obviously costly to max a prestige diamond variant like Neuromancer, but as we see here, some diamond variants may be worth to have duplicates instead of merging together. Like Mod Leader does not benefit at all from this prestige ability, so it's better for you to have 2 Mod Leaders. Same thing with Plot Twisted, for example. Like, the AI doesn't... I don't know how useful the AI will use this ability when it's activated, but things like Valentine, for example, that could actually be pretty scary. Triple Valentine with Prestige ability and Robo Fortune as well. So I love this. These Prestige abilities can change the meta potentially, but I don't think it's in a game-breaking way. I don't think you feel left out if you don't have a Prestige ability. It's merely seen as an option for players if they do get lucky with a dupe. And none of them sound like super broken, which is thankful. And of course, prestige abilities do not increase stats, which is one of the biggest worry that a lot of people were having. So that's good. And yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say about this updates, I guess. Really like the direction with the prestige abilities. If I have a wish list for the next update, I really want dailies to be fixed. That has been a boon for a lot of late game players, maybe not early game players, but late game players have found it as a chore. And probably Relic Agency. And if you guys don't know, Relic Agency means a surefire way to get the variant you want without just relying on RNG for your relics. And that will also benefit a lot of new players as well. I like in this update how it's balanced between the things you get as a late game and the things you get as an early game player. This, for example, benefits a lot of early game players, and prestige abilities benefits both, but more so towards the late game player. And of course, we have the Halloween update, which is, whew, look at those relics. Excited. So I think that's all I have to say, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content because new update dropping means a lot of content coming out soon. Lots of things to unpack here. Anyway, have a great day, guys. See you in the next video, and thank you for watching.